What's up, guys? Welcome to Q&A Mondays. I'm Thad Barnette. Today we're looking at the Pacific Northwest region of the United States and how Sheffield Metals supports fabricators, contractors, and end users with standing seam metal roofing in that area. Today, to help me out, I have Shane from Sheffield Metals. Thanks for being here, Shane.
Thanks, Thad.
So as a sales guy out in that region, we're talking Washington State all the way over to the Dakotas, Idaho, that whole area in there, Montana. You've got a wide range of territory to cover. So we're going to try to talk a little bit about, first of all, what weather you guys experience in that region of the United States, and what forces do structures have to endure on a daily basis?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, Thad. So we have a pretty huge temperature swing. Depending on where you're at and what time of the year it is, we can have 100-degree plus weather days in the middle of the summer, and in the middle of the winter, all of a sudden we're now at minus 50 and some wind chill, and the wind is blowing. So the biggest thing that everybody really thinks about and worries would be our large amount of snow load, especially in Idaho, Montana, and the Dakotas. We do have a pretty significant amount of snow that likes to fall around here for about half the year.
So let's talk a little bit about the construction and specifically metal roofing products and types that you see installed in those regions to kind of combat that weather.
So we see a lot of low slope applications. Things are kind of shifting. People want to actually be able to see and appreciate their roofs. They're spending a little bit more money because they want to see something that's a little bit different than just maybe your standard shingles. So with that in mind, we've also seen a huge increase in snow retention systems such as S5. Deal with that almost on a daily basis, trying to keep things from falling from the roof and injuring somebody or making it everyday life a lot harder. So the snow retention, I think, is huge around here.
Yeah, that's interesting that you bring up the low slope roofing when you're talking about snow loads. You'd think that something with more of a slope would be more common in that area.
You would think that, and I'm not entirely sure I understand why the sudden shift around here, but that's definitely what has happened. I'm not saying that 100% of it is all going to be low slope, but a vast majority of it. We have a lot of homes that are just your standard cookie cutter homes, and then we have some pretty crazy ones. We have a lot of movie stars and other people who want to have a ranch in Montana, so they're willing to spend the extra money and do some kind of crazy off the wall, out of the norm stuff.
So let's talk a little bit about the contractor fabricator market in your area. Do people have roll forming machines usually, or are they buying from regional manufacturers? How does that kind of relationship work?
So it's kind of a mixed bag is how I would put it. We kind of have an even split between people and companies that are just strictly manufacturing, that they have a bunch of portable roll formers, maybe in a big shop setting, and they're just a brick and mortar store. You come in, you order what you need, and then you're going to be installing it or hiring an outside contractor who doesn't have that roll forming equipment to go ahead and install it for you. And then the other one, of course, would be guys with the portable roll forming equipment who are going to come out and do the installation for you. So it really is kind of just a mixed bag depending on the area. We have some very large contractors that do some very amazing things on the watertight warranty side, and some other guys who have no interest in ever doing any of that kind of stuff, and they just want to do the residential packages and keep it simple.
So how does Sheffield Metals support your specific region up there in the Pacific Northwest?
So all the support's going to come out of my home office in Denver, Colorado. We have an outstanding inside sales team that is there to answer all your questions and calls, from day-to-day ordering to getting something as small as a paint pen out UPS same day. We have a absolutely outstanding production crew that are informed and knowledgeable on our products. They understand how the parts and pieces work. I think that's very important for them to understand. And they understand the struggles, and sometimes they keep me in check if I miss something on an order or forgot something. They'll make sure that everything, all the parts and pieces are going out. That way the customer and the end user is happy from day one.
And you mentioned weather-tight warranties as well. Tell me a little bit about the technical support, the engineering, and the warranty support that Sheffield can help with in your area.
So the way I always approach it, when somebody brings a watertight warranty, and says, hey, I've got this project, I'm interested in bidding on it, I let them know that we're there from day one to help them go through the process from beginning to end, whether that's doing our estimation services and getting a hold of our technical group and actually having an AutoCAD done and an estimate built for that roof. And then we're talking about all the parts and pieces. And from there, we're going to be talking about the actual installation process and the details and the drawings and everything of how all the parts and pieces go together. And that conversation starts the moment you dial my phone or send me an email. We're going to be there from beginning to end to walk you through that process. And that's what I love about Sheffield Metals the most, is that we're not just going to sell you a product and then never answer our phone again. We're going to be there for the rest of the project and then future projects to come.
Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about advice for contractors, fabricators, manufacturers. If I'm someone who's starting a new business in Minnesota, Idaho, Montana, or if I'm looking to grow my business, maybe get started in metal, tell me a little bit about some advice that you'd have for someone like that.
So if you're going to be starting up a new business, I would do your market research first and really understand the can of worms, potential worms that you're opening, and how far down the rabbit hole, I suppose, you would like to go. A great resource would be just reaching out to other companies. We have a very good network around here of people who are very knowledgeable and informed on their products and services. And they're not going to just say, no, I'm not going to tell you about that. They're going to tell you, hey, no, this is the struggles and the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And they're going to hopefully team up with you. I mean, not every company around here does everything. So our business-to-business relationships around here, especially in Montana, Wyoming, and the Dakotas, is awesome. And most companies get along very, very well with one another. And the knowledge that all of the companies combined is fantastic.
And what about, a homeowner or building owner? What type of advice would you have for them if they're looking for a metal roof for their project?
Do your research. That's the simplest way I could put it. There are guys out there that don't know a whole lot about the product. They'll order one metal roof out of 10 roofs that are shingles, and they'll go up and install it, and they'll struggle, and there will be some issues. I would strongly recommend doing your research ahead of time before you have anybody come up and do any kind of work on your roof, and really kind of just quiz them on their product knowledge and make sure that they are the most qualified person and company to do the project.
Is that something that Sheffield can help with, to find that contractor for a specific area?
Absolutely. We have business relationships all across the 7 states up here. If you're in Idaho, we can make a recommendation of several different contractors in the area. A lot of contractors don't mind travel. So geographically, this is a pretty large area, so travel is pretty much an everyday occurrence. A 4 or 5, 6 hour drive is not a big deal in a day. So absolutely, we can help with that.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about that a little bit more, the availability of metal roofing materials and even contractors in your region. With everything so spaced out, what's that like?
It can be a bit of a challenge. I mentioned that geographically, it's a very large area, long drive times, transport times. The weather certainly plays in a role in how quickly we can get product from Denver north. A lot of companies have moved to a model where they're going to stock a large or decent amount of inventory to be able to combat those kind of slower lead times, especially in the winter. Things naturally slow down around here. It's kind of feast or famine is how I would put it. I guess the other thing that I'd like to put in there is metal has gained popularity hugely in the last 10 years. And it only makes sense in this area with such crazy weather that we can have, from tornadoes to fires, and in the summer to large snow loads in the winter.
So tell me a little bit about the popularity of metal in your area, especially with such a wide range of weather events that can happen.
It's hugely popular, given the weather and everything that goes on around these 7 states. Everybody wants the best. And we've seen a definite shift from maybe your asphalt shingle, kind of your entry-level roofing products, to, hey, you know what? I don't want to have to deal with this in my lifetime, 30, 40 years. I'm just going to go ahead and get what's up there. It might be a little bit more expensive. Definitely going to be more expensive. But the flip side to that is we don't have to worry about doing anything for in our lifetime.
All right, Shane. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the knowledge you bring about that Pacific Northwest region.
Thanks, Thad.
If you have any questions, please comment down below. We'd love to answer them. Check out SheffieldMetals.com and drop us a line if you're in that area. We'd love to talk with you about your next project. Subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel. As always, I'm Thad Barnette. We'll catch you next time.